Well, welcome back everyone. It's time for another episode. We have got a lot going on in this thing. Got a lot of stuff started, nothing finished. It was one of those weeks. I did get a lot done though, and I want to walk you through everything, show you what I did, how I did it. We've got a little bit of everything in this particular episode. I think I'm gonna call this one the harebrained idea episode, but I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet. But with that said, we got a lot to talk about, so let's get started. Well, here we are inside the bus. Typical fashion, we're going to do a walkthrough. We're going to try to touch on everything that I've done this week. It's been quite interesting. I've been all over the map doing all kind of stuff. Never actually finishing anything, but I got a lot of stuff started and a lot of stuff ready to rock and roll. They're harebrained ideas, but they are all things that I needed to get done and get out of the way. I couldn't do the 12-volt electrical because I had to wait for some wiring. Came in too late, so I did some other things. Never stopping, never letting a day go by that I'm not working on this bus. So at this point, let's take a walk and let me show you what I got done. Would you look at that? All my plumbing is installed. It is in place. It is ready to rock and roll. I got a couple of things that I need to do before I can pressure test it, but I'm getting ready to start doing that. It has changed a lot since the first video where I did a walkthrough on how I had everything planned out. So what I want to do is I want to take you on a walkthrough of how this works, what I've got set up, and get you to understand exactly the way the system is actually operating. So I'm going to try to get in a little closer here. So this particular point right here, this is my pressure input. I don't have a PEX clamp on this because I need to take this out so I can clean, prep, and protect the metal out there, because all I did was drill a hole. But anyway, my pressure water comes in through here. It comes down and it hits this check valve right here. This check valve only allows water to flow this way. From there, it comes across, it comes up, and I've got a shutoff valve here. And I've got a shutoff valve here for two reasons. Number one, if there's ever a problem with my water supply, I have one shutoff valve and I can shut off the water supply no matter where the source of the water is. Because this line right here comes back, shutoff valve comes over. This is the output of my water pump, so it will come up here. So water can't flow this way, it'll flow this way. Water can't flow this way, it'll flow this way, and then it'll hit this valve. And if I have some reason that I need to shut off water to everything, I just turn that valve off. Next thing I got is it comes up here, and this is a shut off valve right here that will allow me to shut off the water input to the input side of the filter. Reason for that is if I didn't have that shutoff valve there, I'd never be able to change the filter unless I killed the water from everywhere. And so I put a shutoff valve there. I can change my filters, don't have to worry about it. I can kill it. And then coming out on this side, I've got my output right here, and this T is a little bit interesting. It comes across and there's a shutoff valve here, comes down, and I'm going to put a piece of pipe on here. But the point to this is to allow me to use a bucket or something. So if I change out the filters, I can actually flush the filters out into a bucket and not have anything from the filters going into my water system. I've got another shutoff valve here. So realistically, what I can do is I can shut off the water here. I can shut off the water here. I can turn this valve on, and I am bypassing my filters. And I can take them out for maintenance. I can do whatever I need to. So I wanted to do that to make sure that I had a viable means to work on, maintain, and all of that stuff. One of the things I need to do is, you can see these things aren't tight. The filters are still in plastic. I just got them in there, but I need to pull that out. I did make a mistake when I first did this. This valve was actually coming across here, and I realized that I would never be able to replace the filters because I couldn't get the wrench on. So I actually linked them up, which is why you have this mess here. But anyway, so that's this filter system. This is my first filter system that I have in the bus. And regardless of what the water source is, it will go through this first. It has a sediment filter, and then I forget what the other one is, some kind of a carbon filter that takes it down even further. I've got it mounted on the wall. One of the things I did want to point out, if you notice, I've got the screw here for the mounting, and I've got the screw here for the mounting. But one of the things that I found is that these things aren't securing very well, and the pressure of the pipes was pushing it up, so I put this screw in to make sure that it doesn't move. So back to water flow. Water flow comes through here, comes down through this pipe right here, and it hits that T right there. So it goes up this way, comes up, this goes to my shower. And then it goes across the other side and goes over there, goes to my sink, goes to my bathroom. Let's talk about my water pump. So I did all the connections for my tank right here. Comes out, goes down, hits this. This line comes up right here. This is where the water pump is pulling the water out of the tanks. I've got this extremely low, and I did that on purpose. I've got a shut-off valve right here, so if I need to shut off the water for whatever reason, I can. Comes into my strainer, into my pump, into the accumulator tank, which I have right here. And then out of the accumulator tank, comes up through the check valve and then into the system. One of the other things that I did, if you notice, I've got this foam down here, and I put some little plywood blocks, and I did that to kind of isolate this so that when it's working and it's vibrating, it doesn't do that through the bus, and kind of isolate that a little bit. Don't know if it'll work, but I put the little pieces of wood under here to disperse the tension of the screws holding this thing in place. Because if I just use this, it would just cut and crush right through it. But anyway, so going through here, this is the cold water input right here that goes over to the hot water heater, and then it comes up and goes into the hot water heater. Hot water comes out here, comes down, goes over here, hits this T over that way and up to the shower, across the bus over here, comes up into where my sink is for my sink hot water, and then through the back there, goes back to my vanity. All of this side right here is all plumbed in as well. I got another fitting I got to do right there. Glad I caught that. That would have been ugly. But all the water comes in through here. And then the other thing that I have is, you remember I set up that drain back there, and I need to put a actually I screwed up. I got a fitting on there. I've clamped all this down. I need to be able to pull that drain faucet out, prep those holes, and then seal them. I don't know if I'm going to have enough flexibility to do that. I guess I'll find out. But anyway, so there is one of the things that I did, excuse me, for the water distribution. If you notice right here, so I still have this open for my gravity fill, this open for my vent. I'm going to be putting that right here, and then making the connections into that. On this side, same thing. This is the gravity fill and the vent. It's going to be coming in right here. I've got it marked on the outside. I'm going to duplicate the marks on the outside right here to the other side, and I'm going to put both of those in and get those out of the way. Here's my cold water from my sink, hot water from my sink, and it goes back. This right here is actually a connection that will go up to the water fill that's going to go there. This connection over here is a duplicate of that on this side that will go to the water fill over there. So I can fill up my tanks. These are actually for filling up the tanks. Gravity fill is mainly a vent, and if I'm ever in a situation where I have to do a gravity fill, then I'll be able to do it. But one of the other things is I'm thinking about, despite my best guess, going ahead and permanently mounting those sea level indicators. The tape is coming off, and I might lose my marking that's coming off on both sides. But anyway, I wanted to bring you up to speed on what's going on with the plumbing. I got it all in. It looks like a mess, but it's functional. We'll see. I'm going to, the way that I've got it set up is I'm going to use my water hose and pressure test from the water inlet for shore water. If that holds, then whatever the pump does will hold as well. The only thing I would be testing is from the water tanks to the pump and back out. But that's where it is. Interesting setup. I did a lot of thought as I was building it, and it was like, wait, what about this? What about this? What about this? And so I got everything in place. One of the other things that I want to show you, and I'll bring it in a little bit later, but so I've got my hot and cold water lines that are coming over here to the other side that will go over to the shower. One of the things that I'm going to do, I have a piece of 1 1/4 PVC pipe. I'm going to put that along the back wall back there, and those pipes are going to run inside of it, coming up inside the wall here and up to the shower head. Reason being is if anything happens to those pipes inside of here, the last thing I want is water spraying all over all this electrical equipment. So they are going to be inside that PVC pipe, so that if they rupture, split, whatever the case may be, that water will be contained in the pipe, and it will drain out on that end, or it'll drain out on this end, but it will not be spraying in my electrical equipment. So that is the plumbing. I did not get to do anything on the electrical. Like I said, I was waiting for some wire, and I didn't want to get started and not be able to finish, so I waited for the wire. So that's where we are on this. So let's take a walk and look at some other stuff that we got done. Oh, by the way, did I ever mention my bus is a mess? Oh my God, I need to clean it up. Remember those toolboxes I talked about in the last episode? Still sitting right there, never touched them. I need to get that done. I'm starting to waste time trying to find stuff because I got it laying all over the place, but I'm going to get to it. All right, that said, let's take a walk and let's go see what else I got done. As we take a walk outside, I want to show you that I do have the pipes coming down. It's kind of hard to see, but I do have the water coming down, hot and cold, for the vanity down there coming through the wall. I don't know if you can see it, but I've also got my 1/4 inch tube run through so that I can do my reverse osmosis water faucet up here on the wall for the sink as well. So that's all in place. Everything is all in place. One thing I do want to do before I go taking a trip outside is a shout out to Michael, because he asked a question and it got me thinking. He was asking about where the waste vents and stuff were going to be and what I'm using for that. In all fairness, I hadn't even thought about that until he asked the question. And what I'm going to probably do is I'm going to use those one-way vents and put them underneath the vanity here and in the kitchen underneath the sink there, so that there's a venting for the system, because everything is going to drain this way and then go into the gray water tanks that are going to be under the floor somewhere up in here, which I've talked about before. But thank you, Michael, for putting that thought in my head. Look at that mess. Holy cow, guys. Somebody needs to clean this up. All right, let's take a walk. Would you look at all of that crap laying on the ground? Well, all of that stuff right there is all the leftover pieces and parts that I have from when I did my exhaust system. Haven't figured out what to do with them. But I had them in a storage container, and I had to take them out because one of the other harebrained ideas I had, and some of the things that I've been working on this week, is I got my storage cabinet up. It is not secured. It is just held in place right now by that contraption down there that's got it up in place. But it is installed and ready to rock and roll. I need to more or less clean it up. So let me explain how this works. So I've got it jacked up. It is tied up against the rails underneath the bus, and I'll take you under there and show you that. The way that this is going to work is that I'm going to drill holes through here and rivet this into the front of the bus right here, and that's going to provide stability for this, because as you can see, it just wants to move all over the place. So that will be riveted to the storage container. It'll go across the top as well. And then coming in here, I'm going to go outside and mark where my rails are across the top, and then drill holes through the top. And then once I drill holes through the top, I'll be able to drill holes up through those rails, and then I'm going to rivet this in tight up against the floor of the bus. The first thing I'll do is pull it forward though, and make sure that it's tight against the skin on the outside, because that's important, because there would be no flexibility there. And then I'll use the rivets to pull it up to the rails underneath. It's the exact same system that I used for my propane cabinet up there, and worked out really well. It's really solid. One of the things I did notice though is that from about here to here, there's an extra piece of sheet metal that's in there, and it makes this thicker. So if I close the doors, I can't lock them, so I have to adjust the latches. The problem is that it removes the tension against the weather seal. I was always wondering why in that one up there I was getting water in, and that's the same reason. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. But I've got to do some work there. It's up here, it's in place, not finished, but it will be in short order, probably tomorrow. But coming over here to this one, as you can see, and I know I talked about it previously, but I've got the rivets that go all the way around that hold it up to the skin. And if we open it up, pull it down, if you look up in there, you can see the rivets that go through the top. And that's exactly the same thing that I'm going to do again. So this one is going to mimic the other one. Alright, so let's take a walk a little bit further. Look what I got here, y'all. This right here is the platform for my mini split. It's going to go underneath the bus. This is the forward side up here. This is the rear side down there. These bolts right here come up through the platform and through the holes down there and bolt down. I've already checked and validated everything. It's all going to work. So I don't have anything tightened down yet. I'm going to get everything installed before I do the final tightening on everything, but it's all in place. Looking on this side, you can see I've got it. I used the spray can truck bed liner stuff on the bottom of this to protect it from the road and stuff. As you can see, it's riveted all the way around, all the way down the center, all the way to the other side, and on each end. There's my bolts that hold my support member for the AC unit. This is the bolt that will actually hold the AC unit in place right here and right here, and these just hold the member in place. But got that done. let's go underneath here and I'll show you what I did under there. All right, so I've got a 5/8 by 11 nut right here that goes around this 5/8 by 11 rod. This right here is actually setting the height so that I don't compress my mini split into the roof. So I can only go as long as these. I've got them in the front and in the back. I've got these tightened up. I've got these are tight up top. They're not torqued, but they're tight. I'm going to be making sure that everything is set and secure before I bring it in. I'm going to mount the mini split to the platform over there and then try to figure out a way to get it in here, probably the same way I did the truck box using those jacks. But I've got same thing on this side, and again, these are all setting the height front and back. I use round in the back, square in the front, because, well, I couldn't get the square stuff. Didn't have it, and I wasn't going to wait. So I went ahead and used the round stuff. As you can see, here's my line set coming out. This is my power cable right here. This is my line set. This is my power for the rear mini. I checked and measured and stuff. This may actually work. I'm not exactly sure. I'll be able to see. I hope it does. I don't really want to have to extend these lines, but if I do, I got plenty of wire to do it, because this is coming from the front. One of the other things that I noticed, the way the mini splits work, if I have to pull this through to get more room to actually connect it to the mini split over there, I'm going to move this so that I'm not going to extend this line set. I will have to extend the other one, and that'll be one of my next projects, is to get that extended through the floor and get it connected up here. I did get me a gauge set and a vacuum pump. That was cheaper than hiring somebody to do it, so I'm going to figure it out. Never done it before, but I'm going to figure it out. There is where my diesel heater is going to go. If you see that little round tube sitting right there, that's going to come out. I'm going to have a little exhaust thing that's going to go over there about where that wire is coming out. One of the other things that I'm probably going to do to try to help deflect the wind flow and road debris is I'm going to get me another one of those boxes and put it in right here. I'm going to put a small one right here in this area, so that I can use that to deflect some of the wind across this thing and debris and all that other stuff. But haven't got there yet. But anyway, so one thing I will tell you is drilling 5/8 holes in this metal was not fun. What I did was I decided, so back here, if you remember in previous video, you can see that hole there. There were two holes side by side. I used one of them, the same one on both sides. But what I did was when I started in front, I started out with an 1/8 inch pilot hole, and then I just worked it up 1/8 inch at a time until I got up to 5/8. And believe it or not, it seems like that would have been a lot of drilling in a long time. It went really quick. I was really surprised. So I was able to get 5/8 holes in this in probably less than 15 minutes. I had all the holes drilled, which to me was a lot quicker than I ever expected it would be. One of the other things is the way that this is set up. So this nut right here is going to stay on here. That frame is going to come up underneath, and then underneath that is going to be a washer, lock washer, and then another nut. So I'm using these so that I can actually torque this bottom one and be able to keep it in place. As you can see, I got some movement on this, so I need to tighten this up so that it comes up to the top to lock in my my distance. They're all measured to exactly the same width or length, and so when this is in, it should be pretty much set and ready to go. I will do some level checking on it and make sure and see, and if I do need to adjust, I can. But anyway, so there is one of the next things that I did was try to get this thing in. Haven't been able to put it in today. I was planning on it, but see these nuts right here? I counted 14 times, and out of all those 14 times I still wound up 3 short. So I got to go back to the store and get some more nuts so that I can put that thing up. Otherwise it would have been up today. But that's where this is. So let's take a walk and look at some other stuff. All right. So when we were, it's kind of hard to see because it's dark, but when we were talking about the underbody storage, I wanted to show you how that's going to work. So as you can see, I've got a rail here, got a rail here, got a rail here, got a rail there. These are those thick rails. This is where most of my structural support is going to be. It's going to be fun to drill through them, but anyway, I'm going to bark the box where every one of those rails are, and then I'm going to transfer those marks across the top. I'm going to drill my holes through the top of the box and get those in place. And then once I get those in place, I'm going to go ahead and put my sealant like I've done on all of the other sheet metal work that I've done. I'm going to put sealant where those rails are going to be, where those pilot holes are, and then get this back up in place and get it sealed. I'll put the rivets in on the front, and then I'll come in and I'll start at the back and work my way forward and get the rivets into all these rails. Probably have 3 to 4 rivets per rail, and this box ain't going anywhere. One of the things that I did on the front box that I'm not going to do on this, and I may actually even take it off of the front one because I keep knocking my head and cutting my back on it. But let's go over there and I'll show you that. Yeah, if you notice, I put this angle thing right here. It's not very sturdy. I've got 1/4 inch dowel rod or all thread that comes down and holds it up. I did that to help support this. I'm not so sure that it's needed. I was going to make it go away, but now that I'm looking at it, I forgot that I actually bolted the box in through that, so I don't know that I'm going to make it go away. One thing I am going to do though, because I keep catching myself on this, is I'm going to cut these back so that they're up above this. I'll probably cut this back shorter as well, but I'm not doing that on the other box. I'm using structural grade rivets, and each one of them is rated, if I'm not mistaken, 3,000 pounds, and I'm going to be putting like 12 in there, so it's not going to go anywhere. Anyway, so that's that part. So let me show you one more thing. All right, if you remember, I told you that those water pipes that are running under or through the equipment cabinet going over to the shower, well, here is that PVC pipe. I cleaned it up, kind of put a little bit of sanding on it, primed it, painted it. Looks kind of nice, I think, but this is going to run across the back, and those water pipes are going to be inside of there. And if they break, rupture, whatever the case may be, there is absolutely no way that any of that water is going to get inside my equipment. So that's where we're at right now. Let me do some thinking, and we'll probably touch on a few more things. One of the other things that I wanted to share with you is if you see this piece of sheet metal right here, that cutout that you see right there, it's 21 inches by 4 feet long. That is actually the bottom of the tray for the mini split. And one of the things that I wanted to share is that I was able to use this little gadget that I got from one of the box stores. I don't remember which one, but it'll cut up to 14 gauge sheet metal. And I'm going to tell you right now, I was able to cut this whole thing out in less than 5 minutes using that. It's really awesome. Don't like the way that it fits the impact wrench, but it works, and I've been able to use it a couple of times. Just wanted to share that. But this used to be a piece of the ceiling in the bus, and I'm slowly but surely trying to reuse all of the stuff that I have in the bus. So that I took out of it, and try to make some use out of it. But I wanted to share that with you. What I do want to do that I don't normally do, but what I do want to do is talk about what's in store and what's coming up, and hopefully what I can get done for the next episode. So I got a lot of harebrained ideas. I started a lot of things and finished nothing. Well, one of the first things that I want to do is get all those things finished. I want to get that box there installed and final and finished. I want to get my mini split unit installed, final and finished, so that I can do that line set extension and get that done. Validate my wiring and get that in place. I'm going to finish up all of the plumbing on the inside. Everything that I need to do there. All of these service entrances that you see right here in front of the wheel well, I need to pull those out. I need to sand prep and protect the sheet metal, because right now I just drilled holes and they're all in there. So I'm going to be pulling all of those out, getting those sand prepped and sealed. I'll use butyl tape to go back around them and seal them back down, and then they'll be permanent and won't be coming off again. When I paint the bus, I'll just tape around them, but just like I will for the hot water heater. I do hope to be able to get my equipment cabinet for the 12 volt stuff done. I may not have all the wiring ran, but I do hope to have the liner in the equipment cabinet and have all the equipment installed, so that I know what I need to do. One of the other things that I need to do is I need to run from my DC to DC charger, and I have the wire. That's one of the things I was waiting for. I need to run from the DC to DC charger in the 24 volt cabinet and run it up to the batteries that is just forward of that exhaust. I also need to run a wire from a 12 volt distribution DC to DC charger and put it up in the same place. I got my fuses. I've got marine rated battery fuses for that. I've got excuse me, I've got 2 batteries up there. I'm going to put one on one battery, one on the other battery, both on the positive posts, and let them feed back. I'm not going to connect them until I'm ready to put my batteries in and put power on. But that won't be too far in the future, because I want to get this thing powered up and make sure I don't have any problems, so I can fix them if I do. But anyway, I think that that's where we are right now. I got a lot to clean up. As you can see, I've got a mess out here from all the work that I've been doing today. Got to get my compressor back inside, but that's where we're at. We've got a lot more coming. We got a lot to do, and we'll kick it off again next week in episode 15. Thank you for being here.